All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 7 PM on November 3rd, 2021, and you are attending New Windsor Town Council Meeting. If you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. I will remind you that the town meetings are recorded by electronic means and that the meeting will follow an agenda. Anyone who wishes to have a matter placed on the agenda need to have been done so to the mayor in writing by the last Wednesday of the month, by the close of the business day, which is 3 PM. These items will be reviewed for approval. Okay. We're gonna do it first, Kim, Dave. Okay, we're gonna have a recognition of service to town of New Windsor and presentation of plaque to Neil Rupp by mayor and council.
Street activities, street festivals, this work in Windsor.
So I'm going to read the plaque. It says presented to, somebody's got a new. One of these days we'll get these technologies straightened out. Presented to Neil C. Roof, recognition of 30 years of outstanding service and dedication to the town of New Windsor as both mayor and town council member. Get a photo here.
Yeah. Whenever we did go festival, I was handing out music on the main cards. Hey, an event coming up. Would you be a vendor? Actually, music on the main started by a trip many years ago out to Escondido, California. They have walking the main. Every Friday night during the summer and fall, they have this street event. And I'm like, well, we can't do it every week, but once a year. And I think it's just been building, but it's a community event. And all these things that they talked about could not have been done without supportive council and staff. When they talked about Blue Ridge and College Avenue, yeah, that was a great idea, and we got a lot of money for it. But Gary would probably, hindsight 2020, say, "Hey, that road wasn't that bad start." but and working with the council members, and Councilman Huffman and Councilman Paulsgrove was here earlier. I had great council members to support me. And working with the fire department, both chiefs that are here tonight, Byron and Tom. Without the help of the fire company, we wouldn't be able to put that event on. And it truly is a community where we all come together to make our homes a better place to live. And the staff, Donna, I don't know how many emails over the years where I wanted something yesterday and she would get it to me ASAP. Kalina the same way. Hey, I was always on time with my mayor's report for the newsletter. My time was not her deadline, but she was always accommodating and allowed me to have a few extra days. But it was very challenging. We had no money. We were not eligible for any funds to the Bay Restoration Fund when we built a $4.8 million wastewater treatment plant. We got $550,000 waived off of it, and then we started paying that 4.3. And with the help of Doc Elliott, who was delegate at that time, the resident of New Windsor. I remember I was up at Cena's house at the time in Berkeley Springs, and he gives me a call and he says, "I got you $2 million." And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You can't tell anybody. And that was the hardest thing because it was a petition going around town. People were being told, do you think water and sewer rates are too high? And everybody was signing it, but it was actually a referendum to get rid of me and 4 council members. So I couldn't tell anybody that, but eventually we got the $2 million. Well, then that still wasn't good enough. And with the help of Doc Elliott, I had him put an amendment to the Bay Restoration Fund so that every municipality could get funding from that. And that was probably a big accomplishment on the state level because there's 157 municipalities and 67, 66 got funding from that. And there was almost 100 that weren't eligible. So he put an amendment in that it'd be fair and equitable to every municipality. So that's a great accomplishment on his part for helping me do that. And it helped other municipalities that were in the same boat as we were. So, and then because of that, and he was defeated that year. So I went to Delegate Susan Krebs and I said, hey, we got to use this bill that's just been passed. Let's get some money from that. So she went to a delegate and she said, you go tell Secretary David Brinkley put $1 million in the budget for the town of New Windsor. So, you know, I mean, yes, water and sewer rates are high, but I worked hard over those years to get it down. I think $93 a quarter less than if I wouldn't have done that. But it wasn't by myself. It was with delegation, secretaries, you know, talking to the governor, lieutenant governor over the years and building those relationships. But I'm not going anywhere, you know, as my dad's cousin, Julia Cairns, would say, and that's what I say, even though my wife may disagree with it, but I'm New Windsor born, I'm New Windsor bred. When I'm going, I'll be New Windsor dead. So I'm here for the long trip. A couple of us here that have lived all of our lives here. And this is a great town, and you saw tonight, you know, one phenomenal individual that loved his town. I love this town. I love the people. When I took over as mayor in 2019, I think there was 1,414 people, and I felt like I had to, 2009, but I say 2014, 2009, there was 1,414 people, and I felt like I had every one of those people's weight on my shoulders because I was personally responsible for their well-being and their quality of life. And I hope the people saw that, and I did my best. So, with that, Dave, Kim, Donna, Gary, Michelle, Helena, Brian, two chiefs, EMS captain will throw you in there too. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you for everything you always did when I asked. With that, I'll be done. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Neil. And we're going to move on to the Frank Shaffer Memorial 5K presentation. There, you got that one.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so the Franklin G. Shaffer Memorial 5K Run Walk was a great success. We had 14 sponsors and 40 individual donors. And because we had many donations of equipment, time, items, volunteers, the cost to put that event on were relatively low. As a result, we're very pleased to be able to present proceed checks to two organizations, Carroll and Westminster Roadrunners Club. Both organizations were instrumental in making this first FGS Memorial 5K event possible and successful. So Gary Hahnemann is here tonight from the Westminster Roadrunners, and I would like to present a check for $2,665.50 to Gary.
I'd just say something.
Sure.
real quick.
Yeah.
So I just got to say, you know, Neil, when you called me back in February, and said you had this idea to honor Frank, and it was one of the best phone calls I got, I think, around that time. And, you know, the work that, you know, Gary did over the months to make this really an elite event, as far as I'm concerned. And the proceeds kind of speak for themselves in terms of the people that wrapped around this event and recognized Frank. So thanks to you gentlemen and everyone who helped out. It was great. Thank you.
So then Mike Rogers is also here tonight from Carroll, and I would like to present a check for $3,565.50 to Mike Rogers with Carroll. Mike. You say anything?
Yeah, I'll say,
Step up.
I'm Mike Rogers. I'm Executive Director of Caring Carroll. If you don't know what Caring Carroll is, we do have a website. We're a volunteer organization. We've been around pretty much for like 15 years. We have volunteers that help folks over 60 with transportation and running errands and things like that. And this is great. I mean, I'm so pleased with this, but I hardly did anything. You know, I basically have, you know, between Gary and folks here and the volunteers, it was easy for me. I mean, it got a lot of help, and I really appreciate it. So thank you all.
That's the-
All right, thank you for that. Moving on, we have the approval of minutes for October 6th, 2021 Town Council meeting. Everyone got those, read over them, corrections, anything? We have a motion to approve those. All those in favor? Ayes have it, 5-0. The mayor's report, I'll defer until later as it comes up in the old business. Anyone object to that? Okay. Continue on with the council committees. First on the list is community enhancement with Councilwoman Gribben Lindemann. Moving on to Public Works with Councilman Hoffman.
Good evening, everyone. As usual, Public Works is very busy. The leaf machine is serviced and ready to go. Public Works has asked that, if possible, that you bag the leaves and if you can, because the leaf machine is getting rather old. So if you do have to rake them to the curb, make sure that there is no large sticks, cans, any dog waste, anything like that in with your leaves, because that does affect the way the leaf machine works. They have completed their end of season mowing. They've been going through and winterizing our parks. They've been doing cleaning up and weeding as necessary in the parks, and they have been servicing the winter equipment, getting that ready to go. On 9 October, the town did hold a bulk trash. We only had 15 residents that took part in that, and they filled up one dumpster. Next bulk trash usually scheduled for the end of April. The Planning Commission, we did meet in October. We actually met in person. That's the first time we have done that in a while since the COVID. Unfortunately, Joe Rogers, our Maryland Department of Planning rep, was unable to attend. He was going to bring our new Maryland Department of Planning rep, as Joe is taking a new position. However, that was not able to be coordinated. So the new rep is supposed to start the middle of November. The Maryland Department of Planning rep is the one that is actually our scorekeeper as we're going through the comprehensive plan. So they have all the notes and are doing the updates to the plan as we make the changes. So we need to give the new rep some time, come on board. So in the next meeting scheduled around Thanksgiving, we're going to postpone that, and as well as the one around Christmas. So the Planning Commission will be getting back together and meeting in January. Any questions? Thank you.
Moving on to water and sewer with Councilman Hull.
All right, so as many of you guys are aware, the town, like many others, is experiencing supply chain issues. So to mitigate against that, the Public Works Department is ordering extra supplies so that we're more prepared for any shortage that might be coming in the next couple months. The SCADA system has been received. It's going to be configured in the next few weeks. There was a water leak on Union Square. It was on the private side of a connection, and it was likely resulted from development backfill. Greg Freifogel Plumbing was out for the repair. They were able to get it up and operational. They only had a 30-minute downtime, so that was very good on both the Public Works and the plumbing company. And then last bit is Wayne did update the emergency response plan, which I have here. I will get copies for the rest of the council, but basically this is our plan for if any call for any emergency water issue were to arise, who to call next, all the plumbing companies. So there's a game plan for any situation. So it was a big overhaul that Wayne put together, and I'd like to thank him for that. And that's my report. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Moving on to public safety with Cornick.
All right, the sheriff's office between the dates of October 1st to October 31st responded to 59 calls for service within the town limits. Out of those calls for service, only 3 required reports, which were the following. On October 19th at approximately 8:32 PM, deputies responded to the 100 block of Church Street regarding a domestic investigation revealed that the known parties got into a verbal argument. During the argument, one of the subjects fell twice, causing injury to himself. Both subjects advised that no physical assault occurred and were both referred to the district court commissioner's office to file for a protective order. Case was closed. On October 21st at approximately 3:08 PM, deputies responded to the 500 block of Main Street regarding a burglary. Investigation revealed that 3 unknown subjects entered a building and removed 2 fire extinguishers, and an investigation continues. On October 26th at approximately 9:29 PM, a Westminster police officer was traveling in the area of New Windsor Road and Tibbetts Lane and observed an injured deer laying in the roadway. The officer then euthanized the injured animal, and case was closed. That concludes my report.
Chief Walker.
There we go.
Good evening. For the month of October, we had 21 fire calls, 89 EMS calls, bringing our year-to-date 279 fire calls and 745 EMS calls. Just remember, we've just gone through Fire Prevention Week. Every day is fire prevention, especially with winter and the holidays approaching. Just try to be safe. Don't forget Tuesday night bingo at the fire station. And our auxiliary is having a jackpot bingo on November the 13th, Saturday evening, $1,500 jackpot. That's my report.
Thank you. Moving on, we have economic development with Councilwoman.
Hey, good evening, everyone. The Carroll County Downtowns Group met, and they are going to do the Small Business Saturday Shopping Passport again. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that program, it is begins on Small Business Saturday, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. This year, that's the 27th, and it runs for a little over a week, so it ends on the 5th. New Windsor is participating. We have, I think, 5 businesses that are listed in the passport. The way it works is you visit and get proof of purchase, at least 8 of the businesses in the passport. You turn in the completed passport at any library, building, or town hall. And then all the completed passports are put in a drawing for 20 $50 gift certificates that are good at any of the businesses listed. So it's a way to encourage folks to shop local, get familiar with local businesses. So we don't have a lot of businesses in New Windsor, but we do have a few. So please keep those in mind when you're doing your holiday shopping this year. Maybe get a gift certificate from one of the restaurants or one of the little stores, and just support our small businesses in town. On a related note, I am again donating a wreath to the Carroll County Arts Council's Festival of Wreaths. I've done this for, I think this will be the 5th year, and I call it a visit to New Windsor. And I either buy or get donations from local organizations and businesses, and I put them together, usually like in a basket or something with a wreath. I've already started soliciting some donations. If there's anybody here that represents an organization or has their own small business and you want to donate something, please contact me and let me know. I have to turn the wreath in by, I think it's the 12th of November. So just let me know. So that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Moving forward with the town manager.
Okay, I have a few things to report. The Dealman Inn archaeological dig. The Archaeological Society of Maryland is scheduled to complete their pro bono archaeological excavation at the Dealman Inn historical property this weekend, November 6th and 7th. An email was forwarded to the mayor and council on October 27th from Esther Doyle Reed on the status of the dig, the findings, and what to do with the findings. By Maryland law, the artifacts recovered are property of the town. Does the town want to keep the artifacts or deed them to the state? If deeded to the state, they will be kept in climate controlled conditions and the town will have access to them whenever they want. If you decide to keep them, the artifacts, you'll have to figure out where and how to keep them preserved. So I don't need to know today, but just think about that. I mean, I would think myself to let the state have them and where they can be preserved, but that's just my opinion. But just let me know because they'll be finishing up this weekend. Okay. The Maryland 31 Water Main Improvement Project received final plans and updated engineers construction cost estimate electronically from GMB. Actually, over the weekend, GMB is working to finish the final specifications. I will review the final plans one last time, and then GMB will print and sign and seal the drawings. The plans do have to be signed by the town before making final submission to Soil Conservation District. A formal utility permit application submittal to SHA is needed. A draft application was submitted a while back. So all the paperwork has been updated and pretty much ready to go. Just change some dates and things. Any funding related requirements need to be added into the project specifications if necessary. And we will go over the updated construction cost estimate at the special work session next Tuesday on the 9th. The Blue Ridge Pump Station upgrade. GMB is working on design, but can only take it to a certain point until they will be waiting on Gorman Rupp to prepare the project-specific drawings for the pumps. The Blue Ridge Pump Station project is number 158 on Gorman Rupp's queue. That's how many projects they have going on. But the rep has informed GMB that they anticipate having the project specific drawings available on November 15th. So once GMB gets the drawings, the schedule is as follows. They'll need 6 to 8 weeks to complete 90% design documents, 3 weeks for town review and comments, 6 weeks to complete final documents. So approximate completion date is mid-March of 2022 at this point. GMB hourly contract to provide support services for funding applications. So I requested and will be approving a proposal from GMB to provide support services for development and submission of funding applications and supporting documentation for the town to pursue funding from MDE, USDA, and other potential funding sources for the Maryland 31 Water Main project. Mike Reynolds and I will be overseeing and preparing the applications, and GMB will be providing assistance. The contract is an hourly fee basis plus reasonable project-related expenses such as travel, printing, postage, etc. And it's with a not to exceed upset limit of $5,000. The MDE, USDA, and other applications, as I mentioned before, require a lot of information, a lot of paperwork, which GMB will be able to provide, having worked with the town for many, many years. So GMB provides this type of service to the other clients as well. So that's all I have for my report. Any questions?
Nope. Did you want to continue on with the Public Works Director portion or no? Yeah, Wayne's not here, yeah. Okay, all right. We can move on to maybe an update from the West Carroll.
I will unmute this time, and I apologize to our audience in their homes. I don't think I hit the unmute button, and we'll get into how we're going to fix that in the future, but thanks for your patience. As far as the Rec Council, all I can say is that people within the hearing range of my voice, we need volunteers. So if you have kids or will have kids in the program soon, please volunteer because I am leaving soon. And I know 3 other people are leaving as well. So that's the only notice I have for the Rec Council.
Yep. Now we have a treasurer's report with Donna Alden.
Before I start, can everyone on Zoom hear me? Just thumbs up or Okay. So our audit is complete. Woo-hoo! Finally, for fiscal year 21. And the uniform financial report was filed in time with the state on 10/25, and that is in compliance with our November 1st, 2021 deadline. I received an electronic copy of the final audit today, which I will forward to the mayor and council. And we will also have a few hard copies here at town office, and it will be posted on the website for review. I sent out a loan payoff sheet to the mayor and council and town manager Dye to review. I'm not going to go over it this evening. That will be part of our discussion at the special work session. So just review it. Any questions you have at that time. So November 2021 is, well, every November actually, is Municipal Government Works Month. So in honor, we have displayed a flag, and MML would like us to do some special things and submit things. So I'd like to ask the mayor and council to get their picture taken individually with the flag so that I can go ahead and send that. So if you can hang around for maybe, well, you're not going to be here. I'll take the picture. I'll take everybody's picture while you're all here. So then you'll be done. Okay. And that's all I have. Any questions? Oh, no. I'll have it on the next day or so.
Okay, moving on to no.
Okay, can anybody hear me? Oh, all right. So water bills have been sent out. Due date is on the 5th, on Friday. Late charges will be assessed on Monday, the 8th. If you are monthly, you do not have to worry about that because you pay on the 20th. I had 2 residents contact the county for assistance, and they have been taken care of. And everybody prior to COVID, nobody's came to me about anything for assistance. Human Services in Carroll County is still doing, assistance. So if you need help, please contact them. Any questions?
You have an update from Nicole? Hi, update. Moving on to new business. Sharon, do you want to take this one?
I'll start off and then, unless you want to. Okay, so at the council meeting on August 4th, council approved $17,500.80 for 45 Christmas wreaths and 90 bows with gold trim. There's an example as shown there. The total, the wreaths and the bows were shipped separately and we were charged 2 shipping fees. The total cost ended up being $18,121.41, which is $621.61 over, which is the amount of the second shipping charge. So I have all the invoices and everything here. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that overage to what was approved at the council meeting. And it was due to the second, they were shipped in two different shipping. What was the difference? $620.61. And I can show you the invoices and all that I have, if they might need them.
And that's what it was 2 different types of shipping.
Yeah, 2 shipping charges was the difference. Okay, so we do need a motion to pay for the overage.
There was plenty of money still left in the budget. So we're still.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the $620.61? All those in favor? Ayes have it, 5-0. Anything else under new business? Moving on to old business, we have the town hall virtual meetings and audio solutions with Councilman Cornick.
All right, I got my mute off. All right, so here's the deal. Again, I do want to thank the citizens of New Windsor for your patience with us working through this. You know, frankly, none of us are audio visual people, and we're trying to figure our way through this. But today, I found out that, so a month past, I put a side-by-side analysis of the pricing that we receive. But not knowing what I'm doing when it comes to IT stuff, I found out today that the quote that we received, the documents that we received from CMC that we thought was a quote was not a quote. So I spoke with Richard this afternoon. I'm going to call him in the morning. But what CMC did for us was outline what they thought we needed to make this audio-visual virtual meeting process go smoothly. And I took that as the basis of our quotes, but we're not comparing apples to apples. So essentially, you've got an apple, a plum, and a peach, and we're only thing that we can agree on is that they're fruit. So what we need to do is kind of start from scratch and make sure we're doing this right, because we're talking about a lot of money for the town of New Windsor, and I don't want to spend it frivolously. So hopefully everybody's in agreement with that, and I promise you have my word, I'll be a little more diligent on this, but it is going to take some time until we finally get this thing wrapped up, because right now we're just not comparing apples to apples. And I don't know that what the other companies are proposing will solve this issue for our citizens that are home listening. So we got to figure that out, and we want to make the right decision, so that will take a little bit of time. So that starts tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to have a discussion with Richard again and make sure that what CMC proposed would be something that we could feasibly get. The other thing is CMC is not a vendor. They were just giving a solution. So I'll take the blame for this. We're kind of way out in left field with it, but it's not for an effort, or not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of effort. It's just trying to get it done, and probably getting it done a little too quickly. So let me dig into this a little bit more. I'll have some information by the end of the week, at least a direction that we need to go, so we can satisfy all of our citizens and town patrons. So that's all I have for that.
Moving forward, we have the MML Carroll County Chapter Blue Drive. Anyone gotten any confirmation from any one of those people over there about that? You gotta hit your mute button there.
That we did find out, we know the date of MML's food drive is December 5th from 10 to 2. Donna reached out to Town, I believe, and Union Bridge to try to get a definitive answer, location, and have not gotten that information. I think you were going to check with MML to try to find that location. Nonetheless, the town's going to have a bin, a couple bins here, and we're going to receive donations at Town Hall beginning tomorrow up until Friday, December 3rd, which is the Friday before the Sunday that MML is doing it. So the donations collected at Town Hall will have to be delivered to the MML location either Saturday or Sunday once we find out that location. So we're going to have a bin here. So we'll post it on Facebook and website and spread the word. We're going to be collecting food drive.
I can add a little clarity to that. Each town has a representative, and each town holds their own drive. For example, I know that Union 20 Town's doing Kenny's, so they're setting up at Kenny's that day. They're not doing it like we are, which is fine. we're really giving a little bit extra time for everybody because there's no one here on a Sunday. So any donations would be appreciated. And we'll continue to try to find out where they will be going to so that we can update whatever goes on the website.
Moving on to the update. So, we talked about it last time. My email to Mr. Brinkley is still in progress. I tried to reach out to him today to no avail. I know Neil said that he maybe has a different phone number I could try, but I'm working on getting the funding for these water and sewer projects still. I know a member of the delegation will be in town on Sunday. I plan on talking to him then and seeing what we can do and get some help for projects coming up. Okay.
Mayor, how did the talk with the Carroll County Commissioners go? The Carroll County Commissioners talk about the ARPA money for the county? No, I mean, the last meeting, we said that you were gonna reach out to them because they were allocating money to, they had a whole bunch of ARPA money that they were going to allocate. Because the last meeting, we asked you to. Yeah, this was after that, and the reason why was because Carroll County had, it was like $3 million unallocated for ARPA money, and we were trying to get a chunk of that for the town. We spoke about it at the last meeting. Last council meeting was a month ago. It's kind of late now because the county just announced last week that they allocated all their money for that. So, correct. We asked you to reach out to the Carroll County Commissioners to see if we could get a slice of that money. No, it was about a month.
Does anyone else have anything to add on that?
Well, I certainly I do. Was this part of the, Councilman Hall, I'm sorry, was it part of the governor's excess that he was saying in the ARC money?
No, what it was is the county, I had a meeting with the Carroll Cable Commission.
Right.
But a little over a month ago.
Okay.
What we found out at that was the Carroll County Commissioners have not decided on funds
yes,
there, because they got county money, we got
Right,
town money.
right.
They haven't decided on the funds. At the same time, we were talking about the various water projects that we have
Right.
coming up. So.
And this was money that we could have received from, not from the state, but it would have been part of the excess that the county would have had.
It would have been
Right.
the county's portion. They had
Right.
a surplus they didn't know what to do with.
Okay.
So.
Well, given the fact that we didn't, sounds like we didn't have that meeting, is there a chance that? Okay, well, I mean, right, so given the fact that we didn't attend that meeting, is it possible that we can kind of rejuvenate that opportunity, or that's not the right word, but
I mean,
yeah.
it certainly any time reaching out to the commissioners would not be a bad choice.
Yeah.
I did see in the Carroll County Times last week that they have allocated the ARPA funds.
All of it?
They have a plan for all the ARPA funds. Now,
Okay.
obviously that money hasn't been spent yet. So
Right.
Until it's spent, you never know, but they do have a plan for all the funds.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Just see what we can, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So let's just see what we can do. Thank you, Councilman Hall.
Well, just a reminder, Mayor, that as we've discussed, there's 3 pots of money that we have to get to, we have $18 million in water projects. And we don't have $18 million. So we're going to have to borrow some money. We're gonna have to use the money we have. And we're gonna have to get money from the state. The county would have been nice, but it sounds like that's too late for that. So that's always a big piece of these projects, as we heard from former Mayor Roop earlier this evening. Even though the water bill is high, everybody's water bill would be about $90 more a quarter if it hadn't been for all the money that was gotten through grants and loan forgiveness. So just need to keep that on our radar, because as we move into these really big expensive projects, we need, and this is a good time to get money because there's money to be had. So that needs to be a priority, as I said at the last meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry to jump back in. So I wasn't able to attend the last work session that we had. Did we summarize the revenue or the funding sources? I know that we were talking about doing that. I think we did a great job outlining what our budget is, or our proposed budget for our water projects. Did we summarize? And if we did and I missed it, I'll follow up. But if we summarize the revenue sources or funding sources, then maybe what we can do is, yeah, I mean, these are, I do have this. I do have the funding sources, but did we talk more about that in that work session? Okay, I'll follow up and do that. And then, Mr. Mayor, if you need, I'll jump in to see if I can do something. Not that I have a ton of extra time, but well, if you need me to make a phone call, just shoot me an email and I'll see what I can do.
Kevin,
Yes.
where we left off with, you did get the list of the funding.
I do have those.
sources.
Yeah.
What I had, we met with Mike Reynolds, who's our circuit rider that handles a lot of the grants and the applications and the process. I had him reach out and start researching the USDA, which is there. It's open year round. You can apply pretty much anytime. Looking at everything, like I said, they're very complicated, formula driven applications. So he started with that one. We were supposed to have a meeting with Vicki Priedemann with CERCAP. They basically assist municipalities and municipal leaders and town managers in securing funds for water, sewer, and other things. She had to cancel that due to illness, and I think we're scheduled to meet tomorrow, but I'm waiting on confirmation of that. She may still be ill. But Mike basically started that application process, looking into it. And then I reached out to GMB about a contract to assist with those applications as needed. So it's just a little further on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the update.
Moving forward, we're gonna have funding of the Blue and Maryland 31 water main improvement project.
Okay, the current and future enterprise funds have been updated and year-to-date totals have been added. There are a lot of numbers and varying totals. And I suggest the mayor and council review the numbers. There's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of options to come up with totals. I've tried to number them to say that this total equals these three. It's a little bit complicated, but take some time and look at it and be prepared to ask questions and have a detailed discussion on Tuesday at the special work session. I don't want to go into the detail of the numbers right now. It's part of the report, my report it's in the folder, yes. I will touch on a few highlights that I want to keep to the forefront. or just make you aware of. As I mentioned, I looked at year-to-date revenues of where we are so far. We've only got 1 quarter under our belts, but the projected sewer and water usage revenues at this point, again, after 1 quarter, are a little below what was estimated in the budget. We have to see how the other 3 quarters perform. The year-to-date water and sewer hookup fees are astronomically higher. And that's not an exaggeration. That's $542,000 more than we anticipated in our budget. We based our budget on 8 EDUs, 8 new homes. Snyder Summit's built 39. So that pulled 39. Yeah, sorry. Well, they'll pulled 39. So we're way ahead there. This basically will increase the current enterprise fund balance, as you'll see in the numbers, and it'll decrease the future. So because we were using one number for current, it's higher, and then the future is going to be lower. So I wanted to point that out, look at those numbers. Also, you will see when you look at the numbers, to review the updated numbers, there's, as Kim mentioned, there's quite a difference between the cost for our top priority water sewer projects and the current and future enterprise fund balances, whether you look at actual year to dates, whether you look at projected revenues, which I've done, whether you look at budgeted revenues, which are there, there's still a large gap between what we have there and what our projects are totaling. Funding to complete these much needed priority projects will require additional funding through new grants and loans, possible forgiveness on existing grants and loans, and very importantly, it's been stressed before, and I'm going to stress it, funding from county and or state delegation. The campaigning for county and or state funding is a legislative function of elected officials, mayor and council, and has traditionally been a mayoral function in the past. So that's we can't emphasize that enough. It's important that we go after any kind of county and state funding we can get. And keep in mind too, I mentioned this before, when we're looking at spending some of our enterprise fund balance, we need to keep and maintain a minimum of 1.5 million in reserve. And that's a minimum. The other thing I wanted to point out is we've had continuing discussions about using enterprise side funds to pay off some or all of our existing loans. A copy of the current loan summary sheet has been provided to mayor and council and is in that document and tools folder. Donna has put together the current payoff information, which is in there as well. The 4 current water loans have a total payoff balance of $690,802, which is a little lower than what I had in the original numbers, and that's if we were to pay it off February of 22. Again, those 4 loans equate to approximately $30 on your water base rate. So essentially paying off that water debt saves money and interest, but it also frees up $30 of base rate to help offset any new debt we might have to take. So, if the town were to pay off those water loans, we could borrow money for the Maryland 31 water project and possibly not change the base rate depending on the loan amounts, the interest rates, and the terms of those conditions. That's why I'm emphasizing paying that debt off, because it frees up some base rate that we can take more loan and possibly not increase that rate, which I think everybody would be in favor of. Donna and I do not recommend lowering water base rates if we pay off that existing debt, only to have to raise it soon after when we go and take more debt again. So just keep that thought, keep thinking about along the lines of those things there. And I believe that's all I wanted to talk about, but look at the numbers. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know it's a lot of numbers. It's a combination of different things. I wanted just to look at all the possible alternatives of where we are, both currently and then in the future with that enterprise money. Any questions on that? Okay.
we're gonna move forward to resident concerns. I'll start with audience members first, and then I'll move on to the Zoom people. Anyone here in the audience? Have a question about anything we've discussed tonight?
If you don't mind.
Your name and address, please.
1208 Chapter. Board. Why did you say different shipping, like, you know, I'm thinking just me. If I buy a product from a certain company, usually shipping would be included. If I pay shipping at this time. So we have an extra.
The original proposal that Sharon got from Riley's had the cost per wreath and per bow, and then had the one shipping cost in it. So I can't answer your question. It was estimated, but it came in two different shipments, two different deliveries, 2 different days, and they charged a second delivery fee.
Did anyone have to go after a question why that was not curious? Was it our mistake or was it their, or was it just how it worked out?
Yeah, I really am not sure why it shipped to different.
Yeah.
We were just quoted, well, I was the shipping. Was estimated, we didn't know, because shipping is kind of, the mail is still kind of a little bit awry, and so I'm not really sure, but I can call it.
I mean, you know, if you work the shop sometimes, $600 might seem like a little amount, but if I'm a customer and I order a substantial amount of product from the company, and I order that I pay for one shipping cost, and then they're like, oh, and we had to ship again, oh, you're gonna pay for the shipping, I'll be like, no, you're the company, you're gonna pay for the shipping. Just maybe just reach out, then get a refund, or something like that.
All right, so I will give them a call. It's a great idea. I will, yes, I will.
Sorry to.
No,
I wouldn't want to pay $600.
no, I wouldn't either, but I'd be glad to call. You guys, do they have free shipping?
Yeah. It was a tractor trailer, small tractor trailer, both days.
Anyone else here in the audience? Anyone out in Zoom land got a question? Let's see what the chat says here. Tom Vickery says, please forgive my ignorance. What is the difference in interest between old and new debt?
Well, I didn't say that again.
What are you referring to, Tom?
He was talking about the interest loan.
I'm not following what he's.
It's under the chat. He said, what is the difference in interest between old and new debt? So what's the rate on the old, loans?
0.4%.
0. What was it? I didn't hear you.
I'll do it. It's 0.04, but 0.4 for 3 of the loans and 4.99 for the college Blue Ridge loan.
And what will the new rates be?
We don't know.
Okay, you don't know yet. So it's 0.4 for 3 loans and 4.99 for another one. And the new rates are unknown. You're welcome. Anyone else in Zoom land? Go ahead.
David to Fort Country High School. How much money do we possibly lose out? I know it's not much, it's probably what we're looking for. How much money do we lose out?
We had already gotten 1.6. I don't know anything about what the county one. Yeah.
So they didn't have any money that they allocated. I do know that a large percentage of it went to expanding broadband throughout the county.
I thought it was one of the pilots.
So that was one of their top priorities, and that I think.
So let me jump in there real quick. So the distribution of New Windsor's ARPA money, it's not 1.6. It's 1.37, and I'll verify that for you in 1 second. We've had one transfer, one distribution of it July 15th of this year for, I know it's 688, 696. So the next tranche is a year later. So it's at that times two. So it's the 686, 696 times two. Our total town for New Windsor is 1.37, 1,373,392. That we will get. So the other amount we really, I think was excess money that from the county's ARPA amounts, which was a lot higher as a county. They had some that they weren't sure what they were going to do with. We don't know exactly what that was. No.
The only plans we had are that we would take all those funds.
The other reason why it's important to be reaching out to the state level officials is because we know that the state had a significant surplus. And this is the time to get on the radar of those officials to get that money because we need it. And it's there to be gotten. It's, we have to go through the channels and ask for it. So if we don't ask for it, we don't get it. Wouldn't hurt. I mean, if you found out, for instance, that the mayor had a meeting with Secretary Brinkley and said, we have, what is it? So it's not quite 18 million, is it 17 point? Is it $18 million in projects? We have $1 million in ARPA money. We have whatever we have in our enterprise fund. We got to borrow the rest. What could you give us? And, Secretary Brinkley says, I'll think about it. We certainly would love it if the residents all wrote letters and said, please, because otherwise our water bills are all going to get worse, and that's the reality. We need to get this money because we can't do it by ourselves. So certainly once the mayor makes those requests, it's great to have citizen support, and I'm sure he'll let us know when he's done that. So I always say that 12, 13 years ago, if the citizens had been, it wasn't that the town wasn't telling folks about the water plan. It's like a lot of times we don't pay any attention to something till it's just in the face. When everybody's bill tripled, people went crazy. But the town had been telling everybody and I wasn't on the council then, so I just know this from, living here. If the residents had screamed to Annapolis 13 years ago, we might all not have the water bills we have. I mean, that's just speculation, but they certainly do listen when people express concerns. So I think there's a role for everybody in that. There's no such thing as the town. We are all the town. That's been the mayor was not able to attend another meeting a couple of weeks ago, and Councilman Hoffman and I attended. Nobody was allowed to speak, but all the county commissioners were talking to State Highway about projects that they thought should be on State Highway's radar, and they didn't say a word about anything for New Windsor. And we have this streetscape project that's been 20-something years waiting to be done. And I was kind of surprised that Commissioner Boucher didn't seem to have that on his radar at all. So Councilman Hoffman and I wrote a letter to him right after that meeting and asked him to please put that on his radar. But,
4 years ago.
Right.
You have no clue.
Right, right, right. But that's our, that's the mayor's job. And when he's not able to do it, it's the rest of our jobs to constantly be saying, we need this help. So.
Any other questions? Anybody else? Oh, we might have one out here in Zoom. Oh, it just says thank you. Do I make this closed session announcement now and adjourn the meeting when we're finished? Okay. Do we have okay, do we have a motion to go into closed session? Per general provisions, Article 3-305B on a personnel matter.
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor? Ayes have it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.